It seems like the honeymoon's over. Well, we're down 5-1 going into third here.
Yeah,
Um,
5. We're in Montreal. It's in the third period. They're down 5-1 with I don't know how much is left. About 10 minutes left to play. And yeah, so we started 2-0-1. Great start. Had a rough night in Calgary. Well, yeah, we had a rough night in Calgary,
Felt like
right?
we were in Calgary, right?
Yeah. Rough night in Calgary here. At LCA. And then tonight in Montreal, another rough night. It's gonna look like 2-2-1 after 5. And the schedule, I know the schedule gets rougher, but I mean it's hard to say in the NHL, but I think the schedule gets a little harder. Chicago's kind of had our number the last couple of years, it feels like.
Hmm.
We play them again, back to back, 7 o'clock on Sunday. And
Go
then
straight to Washington after that.
you go to Washington and then you get Florida. So I mean that's three. I think of the next two you have to get one win to like kind of build some confidence, right?
We have to beat Chicago. That's the one we have to. That's the comeback game that's going to sets it straight. So you win in Chicago, squeak one out there, get in Washington, see what happens. Just see what happens. Maybe Grice steals one. Maybe the offense comes back. If we're not on our transition game, we're going to get toasted.
Yeah, the transition's been rough again in Montreal tonight. They just don't have anything going. They don't have any flow. The passing's been bad. Just watching it. Grice had a. I don't know if you can pin it on Grice. The defensive play in front of him was really bad. Stahl put the one in off his skate. It was it's tough to watch the first couple periods here before we started recording. Um, I don't know. I think you're right. I think Chicago's a big win. You can't have another. You can't gift 2 wins to winless teams on a back to back. That's not what you need if you want to start, kind of coming out from being a bottom feeder.
Well, if you're Blash, you need to chalk this up as Montreal was due. Um, we got a young team, so thing is with youth, you got it. When the shine wears off, you got to dig your heels in because we're getting it's going to get real here in a minute. It already is real. This is our first bit of adversity, so it's a good thing that we're having that adversity right now because you go if you don't win Chicago, you go into Washington with no confidence, you get smoked there, and then you go to Toronto or Florida, then
We got
Toronto.
Florida at home after that, I think.
You're
And
looking
then
at
you've
two
got
and seven.
yeah, then you're in Toronto, and then you're back into Montreal again. So followed by in Boston. So it's a tough, division schedule coming up here. I mean, well, Washington's out of division, but the rest of them are in division.
Yeah, and I mean we're sitting third in the division right now before this game, so I mean, behind Buffalo, which is crazy, but like
It's
we
crazy.
have to win the Chicago game. We have to
Yeah, because
chalk
you
this
could
one up. Not prepared.
yeah, I don't know if they tried to make an adjustment to how Montreal was playing, and the guys just it's not taken, or maybe we didn't make an adjustment and Montreal just studied up, right? Hard to say, but the Wings have looked pretty rough in Montreal. I mean, every phase of the game they've looked bad. Cider probably the only fun thing to watch tonight. He's looked really good. Um, I
Watching
don't think,
Larkin get a goal and shoot. So
yeah, that was good too. I mean, if Cider, I'll tell you what, if Cider can get points in our losses and then play absolute shutdown D in our wins, that Collier might have to be his. He's looked incredibly good. He's our best defenseman right now, and I don't think there's
yeah,
any competition.
well, this
So
offense, there's no reason for us not to score 2-3 goals a game. Absolutely unacceptable. Our offense is good enough to do that. And I know Markstrom stood on his head, but you got to score at least two, and then let the goalies give you a chance to win. But
it's
that
not
that
happening
I
the
thought it
last
was unacceptable
in what or against Calgary.
against Flames. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's been rough. Pretty much everything tonight's looked rough for the Wings. And then, like you said, yeah, I agree with you. Like that Calgary, Chicago's
It's a
pretty
must
much a
win.
must win
Yeah.
unless you can somehow get something against the Caps, but that's tough, especially in Washington. And then Florida's a really good team in Toronto. The schedule's getting tough, and they need to show something. Maybe not wins. Maybe you get it to overtime. You know, at least show
A
some real
point. If
fight.
we get a point, I listen. I hate a loser's mentality, but it's just for the sake of the confidence. Like we have something we pull out. Like if we would have came back tonight, maybe got squeaked out 1 point, forced overtime, maybe lost in overtime. I think that would have been good for the confidence, but we need to go in Chicago right out of the gate, and that needs to be emphasized when we go in the locker room. It's okay out of the gate. We needed 2 goals first period. Let's put the and then we'll do the Blashill turtle, make it interesting, squeak out a win. I don't know, but it seems like that's what it's getting back to. I hate when this happens when we get really conservative. I'd rather lose 7-6 because maybe we were balls out on the offense than lose maybe 3-2 being up by two. You know,
Yeah, you noticed that in the Calgary game, down 2 in the 3rd period, and they didn't change anything. They didn't try to, switch up, stack a line. They didn't really do anything like that. They just kind of stayed the course. We weren't really trying to open it up and to score. We were just hoping, and it's just not going to work.
no.
It's never worked in all of Blashill's tenure. That has never worked.
Well, I thought for sure we were going to get new Blashill because he was not his face wasn't in front of everybody at preseason, and then he was defending players. You could see him screaming on the bench at some of the calls, which is what I like to see. But all of a sudden here we are. Lack of preparation. This game was a lack of preparation here. It's got to give these kids something to be happy. I mean, it's going to be bad if we don't get the dig your heels in type of thing going on.
Yeah, if you start, we go 2-0-1 and you drop the next, 5, that's
It's a killer.
it's gonna start to look tough. Real interesting tonight in Montreal. Just one other note is Hronik healthy scratch. That was
Mm.
kind of weird. I don't. They didn't say anything about him being injured or in protocol or anything like that. So you have to assume he's a healthy scratch. Hasn't played overly well to start the year, but he's not been your worst defenseman. So I don't
Well,
know.
I like the fight. I can suffer a little bit on the offensive side if he's gonna fight a little bit, be edgy. But we saw that in the Vancouver game for sure. He was wanting somebody pretty much that whole game. It seemed like he was chomping at the bit. And I think it was Garland after the Zadina hit. He wanted
Yep.
Garland,
Yeah.
and you don't really see that from somebody like Hronik. So I think maybe he missed curfew. I'll chalk it up as that. But I would think he would have a short leash after missing curfew. I don't know, strip titty bar or something like that. I don't know. Montreal, from what I've heard, is a place to have fun. It's Vegas of Canada. So
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's odd. Maybe it was something like that, 'cause, right? I mean, you don't demote. You see like a demotion, give him third line minutes. He's playing rough. Just send him to the press box after he's basically been first line or first
especially when you
pair.
need a win like this. I mean,
Yeah,
Bertuzzi's out. Maybe you need a mental health break. I don't know, but
hard to say.
that's what I don't know what the collective bargaining agreement is on mental health or whatnot.
I
But
think you can just take a break when you need to, but I don't know. I don't think that's what.
five
I
games
don't think.
in,
Yeah, I don't think that was
he
it.
missed curfew. I think he missed curfew.
Okay.
Missed the plane, whatever. But
Uh,
yeah, it doesn't
a-
make any sense.
After that, I guess my in summary here, you got to get a win in Chicago, or you got to pull out something against the Caps, because if you lose, you start going down 4 and down 4, and the schedule's going to keep getting tough, and you know you're not going to get as much rest as you had in the off season. So
Right.
they got to at least get one out of the next two, if not both. Both would be huge.
We get both. We go into Florida with 2 wins under our belt. It's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah.
Um, and then maybe if you win Florida, you go into Toronto. I don't think we lose that game in Toronto. You go 3-0 against the next three. We go into Toronto 3-0. I think we win that game. Then
When
now we're having a different conversation.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the conversation changes drastically if that's the case. I'm not going to hold my breath on that by any means, but I
right.
want one out of the next two.
When
Win
these
one out
guys
of the
get
next two
going,
is
yeah, one out of the next two is pivotal. The thing is that when these guys are on, Raymond, Zadina, if it's all going to start, here's what the scary part is: we haven't put it all together yet, and we're still, we're going to be 2-2 and 1.
yep.
That's something to look forward to. But right now, we need to get our head on straight after this game. Is straight to Chicago, prep day, be on time, kind of thing. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. The only good news is we do not have a too many men on the ice penalty as of yet. So
Okay,
we were wrong in that prediction on opening night. I don't have anything else.
I'm good.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Check us out, wingscast.com. Hang out, watch a game with us. Other than that, you guys have a good week next week. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.